This Eevee looks perfect, but the perfection doesn't always earn a 10. I think this Eevee got a 9. Let's check it out on Guess That Grade. So we're going to go ahead and take the Eevee out of the card sleeve, make sure everything looks okay, just get a quick glance at the beauty of it, and then look it up on price charting, just to get an idea about what does it cost ungraded versus PSA 10. I also want to look at the collector's app because it usually gives us a tag grading, and I like to compare it to tag because it's AI based as well, and it gives me a pretty good idea about what it's going to be compared to if I wanted to sell it outright. Now for the first step, we're going to talk about the value in the decision. We're going to look at degree grading specifically, and there's not a lot of information out there on actual cards that have gone out for sale, but we're going to say the raw card value is $14.85. The grading fee for them was $8, which is very cheap. It's actually a special going on right now. And then shipping was $5 to $3 for insurance. So to me, it's worth grading. Is it to you though? Going on to the second step, we want to look at centering. Now before we even go into actual grading, I like to clean off the cloth. I have a really nice playmat down that's all black for the purpose of this YouTube channel actually. And then I put down the cloth and I clean it and so it doesn't get scratched up. Then I put this little centering tool on top on the front and back. Now, spoiler alert, it is a 50-50, so that means it has perfect top, bottom, left, and right. There's no issues with the centering in my perspective based on this. Now I did film this about a month ago, and since I started grading other cards, I used different techniques such as an online centering tool and a scanner, or I've used a clear glass to put down to flatten the card out a little bit better. But this came out really nice, I'm happy with it, so let's move on to step 3, the card surface. Now I have an LED light right in front of me, right above me actually, I'm sorry, and it's angled a little bit. So when I turn my card, you can see me kind of flipping it side by side or back and forth. That's because I'm trying to get the light to hit it at specific angles because certain angles can make certain things show up, such as like print lines, little cosmetic effects, anything like that that you normally wouldn't see from a top down like regular light in your home. But with that said, I didn't really see much going on the front of the card from a surface perspective. It looked really clean, but one thing that I did know is a very small and light print line near the P. You can see I'm kind of using the magnifying glass. I realized early on that it doesn't really help me as much, and I have a much nicer microscope now that's digital. But yeah, a really light print line isn't going to negatively impact the overall score very much. It's going to be actually quite little, especially since the fact that it's only really seen from a angled light, and it's not something that you're going to see from just like looking directly at the card on first glance. It's not as obvious, so it's actually deducted as a little bit more or a little bit less than you normally would get if you did see it directly in the light. Onto the corners and edges. Now this is something that can really make or break your card grading. I'm sure that as you saw me kind of flipping the different angles on the surface, you saw some white or silvering that was happening along the edges. We don't count that as part of the surface, that's why it's in the separate portion called edges and corners. Specifically those straight out ways, those straight lines. So for the edges, I didn't really take good notes on this. I put moderate erroring, right? So that means any slight rounding, a fray, or exactly one corner, or it could be up to 3 to 5 tiny specks. So I don't really remember, as I made this a long time ago, what it was that was the error. I can kind of get an idea just looking at the actual video here, but this is just a good reminder I need to start taking better notes. And I have already graded 15 additional cards after this one already, and I do take notes that are actually better on that card. So what I can see here is just looking at, we have some silvering I'm pointing out along the edges. I did know some like fraying or lifting on the corners as well here, and there must have been some tiny specks along the line on that silvering. So that's why I gave it like a moderate rating of error. But yeah, as we kind of spin this card around, I'm looking at the different lighting, the different angles, because the way that the light refracts off of the card gives us a pretty good idea of where that damage looks and where it comes from. Now I love predicting what this card's gonna get. I think it's gonna get a 9, but I wanna know what you think it's gonna get. Please put that down in the comments below, because when it comes back, I'm gonna use all your guys' ratings as a reference and say, who did better, me or you? You know, I think that's just gonna be a lot of fun when we get that back. So I'm actually putting this in. I did 5 cards for degree grading. It was a special. I think it was like $8 per card, or no, it was $10 per card. So it was 5 cards for $50, and I paid $5 for shipping and handling, and then $3 for insurance. It was super cheap, and I'm really excited about that. So I put this in the sleeves, got it ready to go, and I'm gonna take the 5 cards that we did over the last 5 weeks, put them together and send them off. Again, I already sent these off. I'm actually the third in queue for grading right now, so I think it might be another week or two before I actually get these back, but we'll still continue to push out the other content I've already started filming, or I've already filmed, I'm sorry, and then I'm going to put that together and hopefully we can get those back in the next month or so. Now the $5 gives you a really nice box along with the penny sleeves, semi-rigid sleeves, and these cardboard pieces, as well as rubber bands to hold them all together, which is very nice. However, I went a little bit above and beyond and bought myself some bubble paper, and I wrapped this in that. You'll see here in a moment that the box is really small, but there is some movement for the cards to get around inside the box. So I wanted to make sure it was tightly packed and it didn't bounce around because I paid a good amount of money for these cards. So now we're gonna go ahead and ship this card out, get our grading back, keep track of our progress, and just keep making videos. If you want to follow my journey for the big reveal when I do get this back in, please like and subscribe. Until next time, keep guessing that grade.